Greetings, storytellers. So, obviously, there's a lot going on right now, and it's an interesting time because of the seismic shift that's kind of happening right now. People don't know what to make of what's going on. They don't know what's true in terms of news, but people are scrambling to protect themselves, which is exactly what you should do. And even myself, I've seen myself in the past week or so getting caught up in the fear of it all. And for lack of better words, the excitement of it all, because it's something everybody's talking about. It's actually a great way to connect with people. But there's this underlying fear, obviously, for everything that's happening. And I hit a wall a couple of days ago where I was like, I don't want to feel this way anymore. I don't want to focus on the fear. It doesn't serve me, and it's actually quite unhealthy, because if I think negatively and I put myself in a fear-induced state, essentially what I'm doing is I'm releasing adrenaline, which in the short run is fine because, it gets excited, gets you going. But over a long course of time, adrenaline can really wear you down. It weakens you, like it weakens you emotionally, it weakens you physically, and if we find ourselves in a weakened state, we are more likely to, catch something, even if it's just a common cold. We're not our best selves. And therefore, focusing on fear and sitting in fear is not empowering anybody or helping anybody in the situation. So I'd ask myself, what's a better question? What's a better question I can ask myself that is more positive, is more exciting, and is true? And the question I kind of asked myself is, well, what's next? Yeah, we're in a seismic shift. Things will change now. But I realize what's next, there's an opportunity very present here. So even as we're all kind of going into an isolated state, it's a wonderful noticing that it doesn't matter what your religion is, your gender is, your sexuality is. None of it matters, because the viruses that are going around don't really care about any of that. So we're all connected by something. So it offers us the opportunity, when we return to our everyday life, to put away some of the childish biases that we've carried with us for so long. There's an opportunity here to reconnect with one another in an outstanding and amazing way, that we can celebrate the fact that we have, for lack of better words, overcome a pandemic, a global situation, and we did it together, aligned. So there's that. Then I start thinking about, well, so much of this world now is being forced to deal with virtual conferences and use technology in a way that many businesses and many places knew they'd have to eventually get there, but weren't rushing on it. And now they're forced to. So when we come out of this, it's almost like, for lack of better words, going back to World War II, when all the men supposedly went off to war and women were kind of left back and they had to take over in the workforce. When men came back from war, the women were like, well, we liked working. We don't want to stop working, and we're not going to stop working. Amen. So therefore, this is the same kind of thing. We're going to have people who say, we did this virtually. We had virtual conferences. We were able to work from home. We were able to conduct classes from home. Why would we go back to what we were doing when there are other benefits here to this type of experience? What kind of blend can we create between using technology and digital resources to communicate with one another, teach one another, conduct business with one another, and maybe even use that in a way to balance the different areas of our life even more? So, for example, businesses may shift from a 5-day week to a 4-day week. And therefore, you have more time at home with family. You could still do some stuff virtually, but you're more home with family. You're more time with friends. Even just more time for yourself, more time to read. And that brings me to my third question is, how can we use this time that we're going to kind of be home for a little while to benefit us? What's that book that you've been saying, oh, I want to read this? Or when's the last time you pulled out a board game and played with a friend or family member that was with you in your home and spent time just sitting around talking? It's going to give us, although we're going to be in isolation in certain ways, it's going to give us incredible opportunities to connect. So, circling back to my original question, what's next? What is the opportunity here? To reference The Gifted Storyteller for a moment, in that book, when the main character, Michael, he begins with his father's very sick, and his father dies during the course of the book. This is not a spoiler alert. It's inevitable that he dies at some point during the book. And Michael has to is explaining and realizing his world is completely shattered. It's like the floor dropped out from under him, and nothing was the same anymore after losing his father. And Jeannie, who's the guide in the story, kind of explains to him that he has an opportunity here. He can go into sadness, he can go into depression, he can sulk, he can do it all. But is it going to serve him? What if he took the time to honor his father? What if he took the time to honor the life and the experiences that he had? And this is kind of where we are. We have a great opportunity here to create something new, like the phoenix rising from the ashes, so to speak. I implore you, use this time wisely. What's next? What reality can you create as a result of this? What were some of the things in your life that maybe you didn't like or you didn't appreciate and you wanted to change and now maybe have the opportunity to do so? Reflect on the question, what is the opportunity present here? I am not disregarding that it's a scary time, it's an uncomfortable time. I'm asking you to challenge your fear-based self and go into a state of possibility, of wonder, of how else can I grow? What else can I do in this moment? What else can I get from this? There are people doing it all over in business right now. While the stock market is crashing, the reality is the best businessmen out there are buying everything because they know it dropped in half. They buy it, it goes back up, and they just doubled their money or tripled their money or whatever the case is. I assure you that the brightest of investors are not sitting around selling or sulking. They're taking advantage right now. What are you going to take advantage of? What are you going to create with your opportunity? Change your mindset, focus on what's something new that you can bring to your table and see how that feels within you. Again, I know it's a scary time right now. There's a lot of uncertainty. But when you shift your thinking and ask yourself a better question, you can create possibility. You can create something outstanding, and you can change your life and the people around you as a result. So that is my request. That is my hope. That is what I'm doing. What is the next story that we can create together? What is the next story that you're going to create for yourself? It's your story. Create an amazing day for yourself, storytellers. Have an amazing night.